Welcome back to Landover, Maryland, FedEx Field with Stacey Dales on our sideline and Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. Let's head down to the sideline and say good afternoon to Stacey Dales.
Hey, Kevin, you know, the question begs, how many snaps, part of that package that Rich was talking about, will we see Terrell Pryor get at quarterback besides everything else? He had 13 at the position a week ago in that loss to Miami. I asked his coach, Hugh Jackson, and Hugh told us last night, I don't know the number. It depends upon the flow, the situation of the game. But keep this in mind, just a little reminder, as Pryor told us last night, guys, he has memorized about 20 plays coming into this game. He typically sits in the receivers meetings, but he will be ready to go at quarterback when his number is called, Rich.
Rich, you're very intrigued with what he can do and how he does it.
He is such a versatile player, and he can do so much, Kevin. And, you know, some guys that get in there at the quarterback position, they're wildcat guys. They have just a small portion of the playbook. He can do it all. He can go in there and call the plays. He's very comfortable throwing. You and I have covered his games when he was a quarterback of the Raiders. He is going to be a big part of the plan today for the Browns.
Cody Parkey has the ball teed up at the 35-yard line. Deep back, the Redskins have Chris Thompson and Will Blackman to go out of the end zone as the Browns won the toss. They've deferred. The Redskins receiving. They begin now at their 25-yard line. This takes us to the quarterback, fifth year out of Michigan State, Kirk Cousins.
And clearly, Kevin, he's a quarterback who understands, I think, his strengths as well as his limitations. Tough competitor. He's solid with all the critical factors and position-specific things of playing the quarterback. The intangibles are really off the chart, but as I said in the open, the thing that I admire the most about him is his mental toughness. This kid has been through some adverse situations. He will not blink under pressure.
He had a nice game last week in the Meadowlands, 21-35 for just under 300 yards, a couple touchdowns and no picks against the Giants. He's got a 1st and 10. He goes outside, and it's caught here by Jamison Crowder. He's run out of bounds on the play by Jamar Taylor. Let's take a look at the offense after that gain of 6 right there. Ari Kwanjo is going to make his first NFL start at that left guard. Laveau is injured. Spencer Long starts at the center. And they've got Jordan Reed, and Rich has talked about him all week long. 4 catches for a little over 50 yards last week. He is the leading receiver at the tight end position for Washington. With a look at head coach Jay Gruden. And a 2nd down and 6. Running back is Matt Jones, who's knocked out of bounds. There's Jamar Taylor again, making the stop. Gain of 5 on that play. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Brown defense. Danny Shelton's had 3 good games playing the nose tackle on the defensive line. A former defensive end in college football, Emmanuel Ogbah, is playing the outside in the NFL with that transition right there. And they do welcome back Joe Hayden today. He was out last week with a groin injury. Derek Kindred starts today for Campbell with a look at Ray Horton, who's got the 25th ranked defense in the NFL. It is a 1st down. Nice block by Paul. Hard run there by Matt Jones, the 2nd-year running back out of Florida. They pick up a gain of 4. They get out to the 40-yard line, and Tank Carter will make the stop defensively for Cleveland.
Yeah, I really like what I see from Matt Jones when you study the tape. He's a physical, no-nonsense type of runner between the tackles. It's a guy that can knock you back if you're not careful. And the challenge right now for the Redskins, they need to give him more touches, more opportunities in the running game.
Christian Kirksey makes the stop. It's 2nd down and 6.
Hey, Ringo, 30. Hey, 56.
Outside again. Here they find the tight end. This is Jordan Reed, and forced out of bounds by Buddy Calhoun. Kirksey was over there too. It is a gain of 11, a 1st down to midfield for Washington.
And this is going to be the challenge for this Cleveland defense. How do they match up with Jordan Reed? He is a nightmare for defenses. Very smooth route runner, more receiver than blocker. He's got terrific hands. 87 catches last season. I think he's one of the best pass catching tight ends in the game right now.
And he had 11 touchdown receptions too, one of the best among that position in the NFL.
And they'll move him all over the field, trying to get the matchup against a linebacker or safety.
Jones in the backfield. It's 1st and 10, and here he goes. A block from Crowder, then some nice pursuit coming from the secondary. And who's there? Jamar Taylor on a gain of 2, and they get into Cleveland territory. And here is your game plan today.
Yeah, let's look at the Washington offense. I think the strength of their unit right now is the passing game. Currently 2nd Cousin has a ton of weapons. Look, the weakness right now is the red zone production. They're kicking way too many field goals in that part of the field. You look at the defense of Cleveland. With a healthy Joe Hayden, they're allowed to do so much more man coverage from Ray Horton. The inexperience and depth right now on defense is having a bit of a problem. So many young players playing a lot of snaps for the Browns.
Chris Thompson in as a running back, 2nd down 8. And Cousins will throw to the nickel, and he goes underneath, and it's caught by the aforementioned Thompson, who makes a miss. Kirksey finally trips him up. It's a catch and run to the 37-yard line, a gain of 11, another Redskin first down.
Well, Kirk Cousins can be very streaky, and if you give him time, he can be deadly accurate. You see Chris Thompson, he's just going to come out of the backfield, a little flat route, good protection, and they really do a terrific job with their quick passing game. This is just a 3-step drop. Look at the accuracy from Cousins.
Nice start, Rich, too, for Cousins. He's gone 3 of 3 through the air. Jones back in. Quick slant. Nice catch. They go down to about the 27-yard line. That is Pierre Garçon. They're close to a first down. Garçon with his 14th catch of the season, a pickup of 9, and Taylor was there with the stop.
Yeah, just a quick slant. This is going to be the challenge, I think, right now for the Browns. How are they going to match up from a personnel standpoint with regards to the skill players that the Redskins have?
2nd and 1. Again, it's Garçon, and he works this time on Taylor, the guy they traded for on draft day with Miami. That is a gain of 3. Another first down. They're inside the 25 through the air to Reed for 11. Catch and run by the running back Thompson, Rich, for 11. 9 to Garçon, and the first down catch by Pierre right there. And
that's where they really get after you. Look at Jay Gruden there talking to the offensive staff on Friday. A lot of mouths to feed with this offense. I think the challenge is they have so many playmakers to get them enough quality opportunities early in the game. That's what they're trying to do right now. Make sure everybody gets their touches on this first drive.
On the 9th play of the drive and a 1st and 10 for Kirk Cousins. He goes outside. Moses with the block. Beautiful catch made by Deshaun Jackson. Coverage by Poyer across the way. They pick up 5, and they get to the Cleveland 20.
Talked about getting everybody involved early. Deshaun Jackson, the suddenness, the quickness out of breaks, his ability to catch the ball away from him. If you're Cleveland, you can't allow number 11 to run by in the secondary.
He had 96 receiving yards last week, and against Pittsburgh on the opener, Rich had 102 for the Redskins.
He is the explosive playmaker, and they always try and get him matched up with single coverage so they can run all those double moves against the corners.
With a 2nd down and 5, this is Jones looking for a block from the tight end. He got it from Vernon Davis. And a flag has been thrown. Derek Kindred, the rookie out of TCU, with the stop on a gain of 4 as they put him now at the 16 on the game-opening drive for the Washington Redskins. Coming in at 1-2 with the win last week. Browns at 0-4. They get 0-3 for Cleveland coming in.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding. Number 74, offense. That penalty is declined. Holding. Number 85, offense. That penalty is accepted. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
On Vernon Davis, the tight end.
You got Quanjo in there as well. See Vernon Davis right in the front of your screen there. Gets his hand outside. You can see him grabbing on the back of that jersey. Vernon Davis is becoming a much better blocker. You know, we think about all the success he had in San Francisco, but he's catch a lot of balls. He play a lot alongside Jordan Reed.
5 in the secondary. Thompson is in. 2nd down, 15. Nice block right there by Long. That opens the door, and downfield he goes. Ogba chasing him from behind. Chris Thompson is a 3rd-year back out of Florida State. He picks up 20 as he flies down the far side.
Good look at Chris Thompson. Just the old sweep. You'll see the offensive line get out in front. Look at Sheriff. He gets there. Center gets a nice cutoff block, and Thompson does a nice job turning it upfield and finishing the run. You look at the problems that they have had in this part of the field, Kevin. They've been very pass-heavy and need more balance. And as I always talk about, good red zone teams have the ability to run the football in this part of the field.
Opening drive with Thompson here. 1st and goal. It is Thompson. And he's down to about the 7. He's wrapped up on the play by Jamie Meter on a gain of 2. Thompson has had a catch and run of 11, Rich, and a run moments ago at 20. He's been a factor on this opening drive for Washington.
And they've been talking about it all week, trying to get more balance with this offense. Last year, they abandoned the running game when it became clear their best chance to win was for Kirk Cousins to get the ball into the hands of his playmakers in the passing game. Last year they were 29th in rushing. There has to be more of a commitment to running the ball. We talked about it, especially in this part of the field.
12th play of the drive, second and goal at the 8th. Cousins, touchdown! Throws a laser. Jordan Reed. First touchdown reception of the season for the terrific tight end, Jordan Reed.
The tight end on the linebacker, and there's no safety in the middle of the field. This is a really nice throw by Kirk Cousins. He's going to hold the other linebacker. Look at him squeeze it in there between the two defenders. And that's the beauty of having a tight end like Jordan Reed, that you can move all over the field. He's very comfortable working outside the numbers.
Cousins throws his 4th touchdown pass of the season. Reed his first touchdown catch, and Cousins had some criticism first couple games, Rich, of this season, but boy, he settled down last week and he begins this week 4 well.
Yeah, they struggled, Kevin, a little bit the first 2 weeks against Pittsburgh and Dallas, but last week was big. He played better on the road against the Giants.
Hopkins the extra point. Cousins 7 of 7 on the drive. 5 different receivers, including the tight end, Jordan Reed. What a drive by the Redskins. 12 plays. They never faced a third down. And talk about a guy rebounding after a rocky start to the season. If indeed it was rocky, Cousins now with a great way to start this one.
Perfect 7 for 7. Remember last year, though, Kevin, he had an up and down first 6 weeks before he took off 11 games. The last 11 games, including the playoffs, he threw 24 touchdowns and just 3 picks.
Dustin Hopkins will be kicking off. And deep back into a knee and leaving into the end zone is George Atkinson III. We'll get our first look today at USC rookie Cody Kessler for the Browns. 7:40 in the first. The Lincoln Memorial, dedicated in 1922. One of the great attractions here in the nation's capital. After the kickoff and after the touchdown pass by Cousins, it's 1st and 10. And Cody Kessler on 1st and 10 goes outside. Looks like he's got Andrew Hawkins, who holds on, gets out to the 33-yard line. Fuller makes the stop, gain of 7 on the play. And here's Kessler, the rookie out of USC.
Yeah, the most efficient passer in USC history, Kevin. Extremely accurate over his career as a Trojan. Played for 5 different coaches at SC in his 3 years as a starter. And I like that about him. Didn't really affect his production and consistency as a signal caller, as we see Terrell Pryor take his first snap at quarterback.
On the quarterback, Kessler goes wide left on 2nd down and 3. It's the fake to Crowell. And he's chased down from behind by Preston Smith. Nice play by Smith, the 2nd-year player out of Mississippi State. They lose 6, and it's a sack back to the 26.
And this is the problem the Browns are going to face. The Redskins spent a lot of time this week on the practice field, in the classroom, studying what the Browns did last week with Terrell Pryor lined up behind center.
And a practice squad wide receiver playing the role of Pryor. In practice this week, 3rd down and 9.
Hey, ring triple, ram.
6 in the secondary, 3rd and 9. Flag is down. There's Pryor with the catch, and they work on Norman. And the catch is made as it stands now for a pickup of 13 out to the 38-yard line.
And these are the situations you want to stay out of with a young quarterback. These 3rd and longs against a Washington defense that won't hesitate to bring pressure.
Redskin defense is number 29 coming into today in the NFL with defensive coordinator Joe
There's 2 fouls
Barry.
on the play, offside, number 91 and number 94. Both of the penalties are declined. The result of the play is 1st down.
Kerrigan and Smith offsides. 1st down.
A good look at Terrell Pryor. He has really worked hard. That's the matchup, Kevin, I'm looking to see. Josh Norman against Terrell Pryor. He told us last night he wants to see the matchup, and he wants to see Norman press him at the line of scrimmage.
Crowell on 1st and 10, gobbled up as he tried to take it in. Preston Smith with the stop. They lose a yard of the play back to the 38. On the line, Austin Ryder is starting at center. Greco moves to right guard. Alvin Bailey, usual starter, not starting today, arrested earlier in the week. And there you see Pryor who's in his 4th year out of Ohio State. He was the Buckeye quarterback. Richie's given up that thought. He'll play a little bit, but he now is really concentrating on receiver.
It's amazing, the transformation, Kevin. People don't realize how difficult it is to switch positions at this level.
2nd down, 11. And they throw at the feet of Crowell. Now the Redskin defense, they're going to move rookie Jean-Francois to the left defensive end. Ziggy Hood will move to the nose tackle. Ryan Kerrigan playing outside. Trent Murphy, by the way, active today. He was questionable with an elbow and a shoulder injury, and there's the great Josh Norman, all-pro a season ago. Quentin Dunbar replaces Breland. He'll be starting at the other cornerback. 3rd down and 11. They need the 49. In the backfield is Duke Johnson.
Here he comes.
And across the middle, Barnage, who's hit by Dunbar and brought down at the 45 and shy of the first, hit also by the rookie Kendall Fuller. It is a gain of 7 on 3rd and 11. It's 4th and 4. The punting unit takes the field for Cleveland.
And you can already see a trend for Washington on 3rd down. They are bringing 5- and 6-man pressures trying to get after the rookie quarterback, Cody Kessler.
So the punt is Brenton Colquitt, and deep back is Jamison Crowder. He had a punt return last week in the Meadowlands of 50 yards, the longest for the Redskins in the last 4 years. Colquitt began his career with Denver. Crowder, well placed, but into the end zone it goes. They cannot save it. It'll be out to the 20, 55-yard punt. Another try for Kirk Cousins. He's already thrown a touchdown pass today. 4:41 in the first. Thursday, your weekend starts here when the Cardinals take on the Niners. It's Thursday Night Football on CBS, NFL Network, and Twitter. So we just saw a 6 plays punt in the first possession for the Cleveland Browns. Here comes the quarterback, Kirk Cousins, 4th-round draft choice. Ian Griffin, Robert Griffin III, were drafted the same time. It's a 1st and 10 with a fake handoff to Matt Jones and wanting to air it out. Oh, he's got Jackson with coverage on the play by Poyer and yellow on the field. Deshaun Jackson catches about as many long balls as any receiver in pro football. Jeff Triplett, our referee here today in the nation's capital.
Pass interference, defense number 33. Ball will be placed in front of the foul, 1st down.
Poyer, it's like a 50-yard penalty, Rich.
Well, I'm not surprised to see him go after Joe Hayden. Remember, he didn't play last week, the double move. He runs clearly. He goes right by him. They could have gotten Hayden for a holding, but Poyer comes in there. He panics. He doesn't do a good enough job locating the ball before he runs in front of Deshaun Jackson. I said you cannot allow Deshaun Jackson to get by in the secondary.
4 back there right now for the Browns. 1st and 10. It's Matt Jones picking and poking his way and hit by a Kun on the way. It was Jamie Meter with the stop, and it's a gain of 3.
Really efficient start for Kirk Cousins on the first drive. 7 of 7, 52 yards, a touchdown. He threw it to 5 different players. Did a nice job spreading the ball around and just looked very comfortable throwing the ball from the pocket as well as on the move.
2nd down and 7. There sure is. And they go once again to Reed. And he is upended on the play by Derek Kindred. He's close to a 1st down near the 20-yard line of Cleveland. Kirksey was in there too.
And Kevin, when they run the ball well with Matt Jones, it really sets up all the quarterback movement, the play action, the boots and the nakeds. And Cousins is equally as good throwing the ball to his right or to his left off the run action.
But they do search for balance. They want to run the ball more.
Well, they do, and that's one of the challenges. I mean, they've got a good-looking young back in Matt Jones, and you look at Jay Gruden. He says, we're trying to get everybody involved, but there's got to be more of a commitment to running the football.
Ryan Grant is in as a receiver. They go outside. Reed again. Hayden is there, and they shove him out of bounds. With a gain on the play of about 2. Be the first to know your team's news with the CBS Sports app. Get instant updates, expert analysis, highlights, and more. Download the CBS Sports app today. Another good drive by Washington.
Kevin, it's easy for for me to sit up here and chirp about the Redskins having more balance, but when you have the playmakers that they do, and you've got a quarterback like Kirk Cousins who's very accurate, you know, you say to yourself, you know, what's the easiest way for us to score points? And I think you start looking at Jordan Reed and Sean Jackson and the playmakers they have on the perimeter.
It's a second down and 8. This is Jones, and a block from Reed. And look at him continue to dig. Cooper was back there. Jamar Taylor making the stop. It is a gain of 7 on second down and 8. He's down to the 11-yard line of the Browns.
And you can already see this Washington offensive line. They are getting movement at the point of attack. They're knocking people off the ball, and with a back like Matt Jones, I mean, he doesn't need a lot of help once he gets up on the second level. He can break a lot of tackles in the open field.
Then you got this quarterback Cousins, who is 9 of 9 starting today. He led the NFL in completion percentage a year ago.
They're not getting around him enough, Kevin. They've got to be able to affect him in the pocket.
Third long one, Jones. Trying to get a block over there from Sheriff, who is the starting right guard. It is 9, and they get a first down.
It's a real dilemma right now for Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator. Clearly, they're not getting around Kirk Cousins. He has way too much time to throw. So now if you're Ray Horton, you say, well, I've got to start blitzing. I've got to start bringing pressures. Well, when you do that, then you expose yourself on the back end. They're not overly talented in the secondary. They're without a couple players. And Joe Hayden, remember now, he's coming off of an injury last week.
Watch cross. Alert cross.
180. What's up?
Nickel secondary, first and goal at the 9. Jones. Well, he digs hard as he tries to work his way in. Agba was one of a couple, along with Buddy Calhoun in there. No gain on the play. They stay at the 9.
This is a very young defense. It's a really young team overall. I mean, they're trying to rebuild this roster. They had 14 selections in last April's draft, the most among all teams, and 12 of those picks are on Cleveland's active roster. And that's a lot of young players. And Ken, as you know, with young players, there are going to be growing pains.
7th play of the drive. Chris Thompson has come in. Second and goal. Ooh, they were looking for the quick hitter. Going inside, and Garcon was in the target of Cousins with his first incompletion today. Buddy Calhoun was there.
Well, they have these 3-by-1 formations. What they're trying to do is they're trying to create the isolation up top. They threw the slant earlier to Jordan Reed. Better throw here probably gets it done. A little bit too much space when you look at how they decided to play Bodie Calhoun.
What a start, including that 8-yard touchdown pass to the tight end, Jordan Reed.
56, rip.
Third and goal. Moses a block at the right tackle. Cousins. Touchdown. Jordan Reed again for Washington.
Boy, Kirk Cousins is hot right now, Kevin. They're not getting to him. He has too much time, and even when he needs to buy more time, he has the ability to escape and extend some plays with his legs, keeping the ball in a throwing position, keeping his eyes downfield. And they've got to do a better job matching up against Jordan Reed. He is too dangerous to be left alone in that part of the field.
You had the linebacker back there, too, Demario Davis, who are trying to hand off, and they got caught. Reed improvising. He's caught a 9-yard touchdown pass right there, an 8-yard touchdown pass in the first drive, 8 plays, 80 yards. Extra point by the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, Dustin Hopkins, whose 5 field goals, very much a part of the win last week against the Giants. What a start for the Redskins. 2 possessions, 2 touchdown passes, both by Kirk Cousins. He started 10 of 11. There's a time of year you go out in the Virginia countryside and you find yourself a red wagon and a couple pumpkins. And if you're Jordan Reed, you find yourself in the end zone for a couple of touchdown receptions from Kirk Cousins.
It's a problem right now. They've got to make an adjustment on the sideline and figure out a way to slow him down a little bit. He's getting these free releases at the line of scrimmage. He's up in the secondary. too often.
Atkinson and Tracy Howard are deep back for the Cleveland Browns. This is returnable, and this will be George Atkinson III. Yep, his dad played for the Raiders, if that name sounds familiar. There's a nice tackle made by Niles Paul on a 17-yard return. Kessler comes back out, trailing 14-zip, under a minute to play in the first. Joshua Dobbs and the touchdown to win at Georgia. There's a look at Kirk Cousins. 2 red zone possessions, 2 red zone scores for the Skins.
Yeah, I don't want to say this is a critical possession for Cleveland, Kevin, but there's got to be a sense of urgency. They can't afford to fall behind 21-0 with a rookie quarterback. They have to be able to run the football. Despite the score, they have to be able to stay after the running game a little bit against this Washington defense.
All these formations, all these shifts for Cleveland. Kessler with the 1st and 10. With the run right here by Crowell, the second leading rush. Oh, and a shoestring tackle by Iheanacho in the secondary. He works his way with a burst to the 36, 17-yard pickup and a first down.
They're going to pull the guard. You get the lead right here. Just a nice hole up inside for Isaiah Crowell, and he's capable of having big days if he gets enough touches, and that's the important thing. Despite the score, they have to stay after the running game with Isaiah Crowell.
17-yard pickup. That concludes the first. Couple touchdown passes by Cousins. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Hugh Jackson has a rookie quarterback for a second consecutive week, and he's down by 2 touchdowns after 1, Rich.
But Hugh Jackson and offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton know the best way to help the young quarterback is to run the ball successfully.
Which we just saw from Crowell with a 17-yard run to the 35. To the 36, make it a 1st and 10, and this is Crowell. He got by Murphy, and he goes outside the Mason Foster. Tried to make the stop, and finally it's Ziggy Hood who has to jump on it. Boy, he would not be brought down. Came to 3 hard earned to the 38.
Well, he can do some damage if he gets enough touches. The talent's there. He's got good speed and vision to bounce runs to the edge if he has to.
He was a leading Cleveland rusher last year, undrafted, and we have a player down for the Washington Redskins at about the 36, and that is Ryan Kerrigan. Doesn't look good holding on to that left elbow. Let's step aside. The concern now for Ryan Kerrigan on the sideline, looking at that left arm, as you can see, replaced now by Trent Murphy, who's been coming off the bench. But boy, he's been playing about as well Murphy has as any defensive player for the Redskins. He was questionable coming into today as well with an elbow in his shoulder injury. 2nd down and 7. Fake to Crowell. Kessler. Nice catch by Pryor. Right in front of the defense of the linebacker, Mason Foster. Pickup of 8. 1st down to the 47-yard line of the Browns.
You wonder how a player like Terrell Pryor can go from playing quarterback in college and in the NFL to being a wide receiver, and a good one in this league. And he spent a lot of time, he told us yesterday, with Randy Moss. Randy Moss really took him under his wing and helped him, and it wasn't for a lack of effort. That's the one thing we know about Terrell Pryor. He's a tireless worker, he's a tremendous competitor, and he wants to be great as a wide receiver.
Pryor was the quarterback for Hugh Jackson in Oakland. They drafted, in fact, he was Al Davis's final draft choice.
And the interesting thing, Kevin, a year and a half ago, he worked out for the Washington Redskins.
Oh, that's right.
They brought him in to throw, and he also worked out for Bill Belichick. Everyone knows about his athletic talent, his size, his quickness, but he can throw the football given the opportunity.
Cleveland has taken a timeout. It's their first. We are early in the second quarter. So, Rich, you've played the quarterback position. You actually, at one time early in your career, were thought to be maybe even making a move after playing quarterback at Delaware to the secondaries. So walk us through the challenges of what Pryor is trying to do, move from quarterback to a completely different position.
Kevin, it's almost unheard of. It's so, it's not an easy thing to do. I think this speaks to his talent, his athleticism, and just look what they did to him last week. They moved him all over the place. He played in the slot, he played outside, he played quarterback, he ran with the football. He had a terrific day, and we know they have a package of plays for him. And when they struggle a little bit moving the football, look for number 11 to move back into the backfield. Another different formation.
Little wildcat. Here's Duke Johnson with the ball. Read well. Boy, that was a hard charge right there. That's Trent Murphy. We're just talking about him. No gain on the play. He's had 3 tackles for losses so far, has Murphy, the second-year player, third-year player out of Stanford.
And the problem when you put a running back in there, Kevin, this wildcat, they're not really going to throw it. You can crowd the line of scrimmage. You have to show me that you're going to throw the ball over my head. Now with Pryor in there,
it's a different story.
It's a different story. But you know the Redskins have spent a lot of time this week working on those packages of plays with Terrell Pryor at quarterback.
Skins have 4 in the secondary. 2nd and 11 for Cody Kessler. Onside and dropped. They had room there. Foster was right there. And it was going for Telfer, who is a first-year player out of USC, downstairs to Stacey Dales.
Hey, Kevin, an update on number 91, Ryan Kerrigan. It is a left elbow injury. His status is questionable. The doctors and medical staff have been testing it out, having him clench that fist. And then the reaction to the elbow with the questionable status, guys, we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose their best pass rusher. They're already without D'Angelo Hall. Bashad Breeland not playing today, their other corner.
It's 3rd down and 11. Duke Johnson was in, and this is Kessler's throw right on the money, and it's caught right in front of Josh Norman by Pryor. He picks up 13 on 3rd and 11. They're down to the 41 of the Skins.
This is the matchup that we wanted to see today. Josh Norman lined up against Terrell Pryor, and I think Norman figuring out that Pryor has those long arms and does a great job creating separation at the top of his route.
That's the second 3rd down reception he's had for a first, working up against one of the elite quarterbacks in pro football, the highest paid cornerback in pro football, and Josh Norman. 1st and 10, Kessler. Duke Johnson, nice hole. Greco at the block, and he's into the secondary, and Murphy and Foster are there with a nice gain of 9 down to the 32-yard line of the Redskins. And tomorrow on CBS, the Geniuses are back. Don't miss the 2-hour season premiere of the hit drama Scorpion. Tomorrow at 9, 8 Central. Only CBS. 1st and 10, make it 2nd and 1.
Go! Hey, Opie! Man, hey, hi!
Crowell back in and the call. The dive for the first. They're moving some people up front. Pastor, who had a shaky game last week with a lot of penalties, allows that gain of 4. They get down to the 29, and they're taking Kerrigan off. And we'll try to update that with Stacey moments from now. Cullen Jenkins in on that last stop, too.
Good-looking drive for the Browns. Talked to Hugh Jackson last night. He said, when we get in this part of the field, we have to finish. We have to be able to come away with touchdowns. We cannot attempt 6 field goals like we did last week in Miami.
Crowell 1st and 10. Nice hole into the secondary, and a tackle made shoestring David Bruton Jr., the former Denver Bronco. A gain of 11. 1st down to the 17.
They're really nice. You'll see the guard pull, and the back is just going to follow them right downhill. They're getting good movement. You see the double team with the center. Good kick out. And again, Isaiah Crowell needs to have a lot of touches. He is a tough tackle in the open field.
So Crowell has had runs of 11 and 17. Pryor's had a couple catches, 1 of 13. 1st and 10. Kessler right on the screws again, and this time he goes to Ricardo Lewis, a rookie 4th-round pick out of Auburn. 4th NFL catch, 14-yard pickup, great throw. 1st and goal to go at the 4. They beat Dunbar.
And all things being equal, if I'm Cody Kessler, I'm going to work away from Josh Norman anytime I have the opportunity to. I want to go after Quentin Dunbar. I want to make a living out of throwing at Josh Norman all day.
Crowell on 1st down and goal to go. Malcolm Johnson, the fullback, leading the way, and finally a stop by Preston Smith on a gain of 3. They're down to the 2 of the Skins.
Remember, this Washington defense, Kevin, they've had their problems stopping the run. They're 24th in run defense. We talked to Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, on Friday. He said that they've been highly inconsistent, especially when it comes to tackling. They missed way too many tackles in the month of September. Last week alone, they gave up 80 yards rushing to the Giants on 5 missed tackles.
And the Browns, one of the elite running teams so far in this young season.
And they have a runner in Isaiah Crowell who can break a lot of tackles.
2nd and goal, couple tight ends. Crowell sledgehammering in for the touchdown for the Browns. Boy, did they need that. 2-yard drive inside by Isaiah Crowell.
A good movement off the line of scrimmage. You see the center and the guard get the double team on Cullen Jenkins, and they push him right back into the linebacker. And Crowell does the rest as he lowers his helmet and shoulder pads and finds the goal line.
Number 2 rusher in the NFL coming in, battling a bit of a knee, but he's out there right now. Undrafted out of Alabama State. And here is Cody Parkey, who missed the 3 field goals last week, including a chance to win it late. The extra point try, and he puts one more on the board for the Browns with 9:33 to play. They've cut the lead in half. Pryor was very important on that drive. Crowell is the one to cross as he pushes his way through. There was a flag on that extra point, and it's offsides, I think, from Jeff Triplett on the Redskins. Let's see.
Offside. Defense, number 24, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The point after is good. Timeout.
Josh Norman's had a tough afternoon so far for the Redskins, but a new score in the nation's capital, 9:33 in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dodge. Domestic, not domesticated. State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
NFL Play 60, the NFL's movement for a more active generation, encourages fans to get moving and play for 60 minutes every day. Learn how you can join the NFL Play 60 movement at NFL.com/Play60. Redskins players and cheerleaders helping launch the FIT program here around the Washington, D.C. area. Chris Thompson you just saw with Blackman deep back, and this one will be deep on the kickoff by Parkey and out to the 25 for a first down. Well, Jordan Reed has had his fingerprints all over this game so far.
Well, he's off to a terrific start. 5 catches, 36 yards, a pair of touchdowns. I like how he continues to move and make himself available in the back of the end zone for Kirk Cousins. He is a handful in the tight end position.
Stace, we've had a couple red zone touchdowns by Reed in this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, what a relief for the Washington Redskins. As you guys have talked about, entering this game just 3 for 14 inside the 20. You know, I had a chance to talk to Jordan Reed this week. He has seen so many double teams, not as many targets as he'd like in the red zone. Different here today, but he said they actually, Rich, went to their red zone preparation on Thursday, which they typically do Friday in practice, paying off today.
States, thank you. 1st and 10, picked off on the play by Taylor. He had an interception last week, and here he goes again. The former Dolphin with the weave and the drive and down to the 12. Oh, he played last week against his former Dolphin team and played well. A 29-yard return. They'll spot him at the 12 of the Redskins.
It's a good look at Cousins. Go ahead and roll it. And watch his eyes. He's late getting back to his left or to his right, and he never feels the corner fall off. We saw Jamar Taylor have a terrific day last week against his former team, the Dolphins. Great anticipation, reading the eyes of the quarterback.
With a terrific return, he was a second-round pick by Miami. And they made the trade. He's 4 years out of Boise State. That's his second career interception.
So important to see out in front of throws. Kirk Cousins got caught there.
Oh, he dropped the snap and he jumps on it right there. The center for the Browns is Ryder.
This is what happens, Kevin. You've got a new center. You've got a young quarterback. We saw Kessler put one on the ground last week. You can't tell if it's snapped early or he's just not expecting it. Remember now, the Browns have had injuries at the center position. It's forced him. Cameron Irving's hurt. You know the issue with Greco. He played center last week. He's now playing guard, and you've got a young player in there, in Austin Ryder.
Yeah, Cam Irving, the normal center, has a bruised one. 2nd and 12, Kessler. It's Pryor. And there's Norman. There's a flag thrown. He gets down to about the 11. He picks up 5 on the play. Flag is thrown across the way. Remember, Alex Mack left as a free agent. He's now with the Atlanta Falcons.
Offside. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Trent Murphy.
You know, with your defense struggling, if you're the Browns on offense, you have to take advantage of every possession, especially when you get a turnover by your defense. You have to take these possessions and score touchdowns in this part of the field. There's an opportunity right here to get back in this game and tie it up before the half.
Johnson is in. They got the inverted wishbone. With the 2nd down and 7, Taylor had the pick, and now all this motion, Rich, all these formations.
Hugh Jackson will challenge you formationally and with his personnel usage. It will not be easy to locate Terrell Pryor.
2nd and 7. Knocked away. Going for Johnson with the coverage on the play. I think by Fuller. Compton was there as well. That goes on Sua Cravens, who had the pick last week. Sua Cravens, the rookie out of USC, 36.
And they really like this young player, Kevin. He's a hybrid. He's converted from strong safety at USC, can play the strong safety, the outside linebacker position. He's perfect in their sub package. He's a player that they can line up at all 3 levels of Joe Barry's defense.
Cravens and Kessler were teammates at SC. You should know him well. A lot of practices against each other. 3rd and 7. The fake to Duke Johnson. Kessler standing strong. Pryor, touchdown! They beat Norman. They get on Blackman. And the Browns are within an extra point of tying the game. What a pass. What a catch.
A really nice design. Just a 2-man route. They're going to cross. Here's Pryor. And they're going to get the cross from the other side. And he's just going to work his way through the linebackers and into that secondary. You see the play action fake. It freezes the linebackers. They actually double Terrell Pryor, and Cody Kessler is able to still fit this one in there. Terrific throw by the young quarterback.
Pryor has his first touchdown reception as a receiver for the Browns. He had a touchdown run last week.
I'm just amazed, Kevin, at the effectiveness of a guy like Terrell Pryor. There was thought that he may not even make this football team as a wide receiver. And he's come in and he's become their go-to guy. You look at the struggles that they've had, and injuries, you know, certainly a part of it. You don't have Corey Coleman, no Josh Gordon. They don't have a lot of team speed at the wide receiver position. They're very young and inexperienced there. They have 4 rookies on the roster, and Terrell Pryor, who just recently made the switch.
Cody Parkey will tie it at 14. 14 unanswered by the Browns. Another 3rd down reception for Pryor. It was a pickoff by Taylor that sets up the great position. Kessler, Pryor, touchdown. I think Terrell Pryor is going to remember his first NFL touchdown reception. That was a terrific one, cashing in on the Taylor pick.
You know, not a lot of players, Kevin, have thrown for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, caught a touchdown. That's been Cody Kessler's go-to guy on 3rd down. They converted 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11, all to Terrell Pryor.
Parkey kicking off from the 20 because there was an unsportsmanlike penalty called on Pryor following the interception. Here comes the ensuing kickoff, and this is Thompson, who is hit on the play by linebacker Dominique Alexander of the Browns. It's a 25-yard return.
Well, he is such a handful. He's got terrific size. He's patient. He's been very patient as a route runner. I think he's getting better using his hands at the line of scrimmage to be able to create some separation. Listen, we're not talking about some inexperienced player he's going against. I mean, he's been working predominantly against Josh Norman, and he's winning that battle right now.
So here you have a Cleveland team, winless in 3 games, but coming close the last 2, starting a rookie quarterback on the road for a 2nd consecutive week against the Redskins, who played well last week and winning on the road at New York. Looking to get their first home win this season. 1st and 10, Matt Jones trying to cut back and does, and he's out to about the 39-yard line. He picks up 3 and brought down to the play by Christian Kirksey.
Well, the Browns defense has to do their part, Kevin. They've had no answer for Kirk Cousins, for the receivers, and in particular, Jordan Reed, who has 2 touchdowns already. I mentioned earlier the challenges that they're going to have. They're going to be stretched from a personnel standpoint in terms of how they decide to match up with Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon, Jordan Reed.
Hey, shovel, 58. Shovel, 58.
Here's a 2nd down and 7 handoff, and it goes to Matt Jones, who's brought down by Corey Lemonier. It is a gain of 6. Lanier was not supposed to play today. He's got mom who's very, very sick, but he is here playing and playing well. He's had a couple tackles already in the game.
The one thing about this Redskins offense, Kevin, is you study them on tape. They have a lot of plays that look the same but are very different. They run that stretch play with Matt Jones over and over again, and then off of that, you'll see Kirk Cousins pull it and take some shots down the field off of play action.
With a 3rd and 1, and a flag is thrown, and here comes Cousins. He is chased on the play by Holmes, and he finds his tight end Reed in the secondary and downfield. He has the catch and run to the 28. Buddy Calhoun brings him down. Right now, it stands as a 26-yard reception.
Number 91 defense lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Jordan Reed has been unstoppable.
Well, just keep an eye on Jordan Reed. He's going to go all the way down and block before he gets out in the route. They do a terrific job selling the play action. They lull you to sleep. He's part of the protection. Now, all of a sudden, Kirk Cousins goes through his progressions. The first isn't there, the primary. The second, he comes all the way back to Jordan Reed, who's wide open in the middle of the field.
Now 6 catches and over 60 yards. 2 tight ends, 1st and 10 for Kirk Cousins. Good time underneath. That's the running back, Matt Jones, out of Florida. It's a gain of 5. You can see the guys on him, including Meter right there. He gets down to about the 23-yard line. And also hit by Emmanuel Ogbah.
You know, you just look at Kirk Cousins, Kevin, and what's been impressive is his patience. They're trying to throw the ball down the field. He looks, it's not there, takes the extra hitch. He knows exactly where his completion throw is. It's Matt Jones right over the ball. He's in a perfect rhythm right now. You look at the numbers, 12 of 14, 2 touchdowns. He just had the one mistake that led to a Washington score, or Cleveland score.
Hey, push it, hey! You gotta push it! You guys go 6.
2nd down and 5. Matt Jones always sexes his way before he's brought down by Ogbah once again. Ogbah, the 2-time Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He finds a gain of 4, and he's down to the Cleveland Brown 19.
Ogbah's a good-looking player, Kevin. An explosive upfield pass rusher who can really set the edge in the running game. He has excellent lateral quickness. He's going to be a good one. Nassib, when he gets healthy. Got a lot of good young players that are learning how to play at this level.
3rd time today in this first half, the Redskins have faced a 3rd and 1. It's Jones. Wrapped up by Meter, but not before he pushes the pile and gets down to about the 16-yard line. Pick up a 3 and a Redskins first down. They've gotten a couple touchdown passes, both to Reed, and we've seen the Browns score on a touchdown pass to Pryor and a 2-yard touchdown run to Crowell. Coming up in the Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowell with scores, highlights, and news, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report from our CBS studios in New York. Big play on this drive, a 26-yard catch and run by Reed. Thompson is in, 1st and 10. Batted down. He got their hand on it. Was it Meter? I think it was. Jamie Meter joined the Browns at the end of the 2014 season, getting in that passing lane, Rich.
Yeah, good effort by Meter, and you see him right in the middle of the pile here. He's going to get that left arm up. You can't get there. It's the next best thing. Try and knock it down, trying to throw the ball inside to the back on an angle route. The one thing I'm seeing already from this Cleveland defense, Kevin, they've got to do a better job tackling Matt Jones around the waist. I mean, they're trying to arm tackle, they're trying to tackle him up high, and it's not working right now for this Cleveland defense.
Thompson in the secondary, 5. Here's a 2nd down and 10. They go underneath, and it's Reed. There goes a flag. Tackle made by Jamar Taylor, who had the pick earlier on. With the gain down to about the 11, and a 7-yard pickup as it stands right now, with our referee Jeff Triplett.
Pass interference, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
Reed.
Well, you got a good look at him here. He's going to be working on the corner. Jamar Taylor, clearly he tries to create some separation by pushing off at the top of that route. He's a handful. He's not in there to block anyone in the running game. He's in there to run routes. They do a terrific job moving him around.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't have him block either.
He's too valuable as a receiving tight end. Look, you see him down here. Very rarely, they don't want him to be an inline player.
Second down, 20. Thompson. Oh, it was a fumble. Did he have it? Nope, they're going to wave it off. Sarah Thomas, who is the only full-time female official in the NFL, was on top of it and waved it off on the little swing pass, screen pass to Chris Thompson, the running back, making it 3rd and 20.
It's a good alert play there by Gabe Wright, the defensive tackle, coming off, recognizing the screen. Good look at Sarah Thomas.
The Browns been pretty good defensively on not allowing a first down on 3rd and 10 or more. 3rd and 20. Reed bounces into his own blocker, and that was long, and that caused him enough hesitation. Much of a speed bump there. Loss of 3. They get in there with Gabe Wright out of Auburn making the stop for the Browns.
This is a really nice play. We just talked about Gabe Wright on the previous play. They try and run another screen, and look at the alertness of Wright. He comes right off. He knows exactly where Jordan Reed is. Outstanding awareness by the big man inside.
So now you've got Hopkins out there, not only the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, but also the Special Teams Player of the Month in the NFC. 49-yard try. He's not missed this year. This is for the lead. Got it. Hopkins, 12 of 12. Going back to last season, 16 consecutive field goals made. And he just put the Redskins on top, 2:29 second quarter. Little windy but nice outside. The Jefferson Memorial, dedicated to our 3rd president and founding father. We have a 3-point lead for the Redskins, but Rich, they again failed in the red zone to get a touchdown. They did get 3, and they lead it 17-14.
Yeah, again, the red zone struggles. Kevin, coming into today's game, a lot of opportunities down in that part of the field, but they've been settling for way too many field goals, not converting.
George Atkinson is deep back. And after being let go by Oakland, he was signed by the Cleveland Browns. He lets that sail over his head. Well, we thought when we got this assignment about a month ago, Stacy, we were going to see RG3, the former Redskin quarterback who now is with the Browns.
Yeah, Kevin, well, obviously the fracture to the non-throwing shoulder. I had a chance to talk to Robert just before the game, and really he's in the healing process. A unique experience, he told me, coming in to this facility as a visitor into the visitors' locker room, but he's biking, he's swimming. He wants to come back and play, guys, whether it be this season or next, and right now he's always got that coach headset on. He's listening into them and relaying messages to Cody Kessler, trying to serve as sort of a coach on the sideline.
We've got a great situation, Stacy, not just with RG3, but with Josh McCown, who's been a terrific mentor as well to Cody Kessler.
Kessler's calm, and he finds Burnage, a Pro Bowler a season ago. Ridden out of bounds by Compton. He picks up 13 on the play. They'll take it up to about the 38. And I saw you, Stacy, talking to Robert Griffin III before the game on the field.
I did. I spoke with both quarterbacks, actually, Josh McCown and Robert Griffin III, and what an impact they've had. Josh McCown, his 15th year in the league, guys, and he's the calming force. He makes sure that Cody Kessler is staying in the present, not in the past, not in the future, right in the present. He wants to be a coach, of course, and Rich, you and I talked about that just yesterday.
Yeah, you know, it's what's amazing, Stacy, not a lot of older quarterbacks will go out of their way to help a young player. And Josh McCown, I think, is an exception to the rule. You see him, he's got that arm in the sling. He's getting close. I was told by Hugh Jackson last night. We know that RG3 has already been throwing in practice. It's you know, it's just one of those situations. But he's a very unselfish player that has a ton of experience that can really be another set of eyes for the rookie quarterback.
We've reached the 2-minute warning in the nation's capital on CBS. At the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts for rookie quarterback Cody Kessler out of SC.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson told us last night he was looking for a developmental quarterback. He has those intangibles. They just didn't expect him to be playing so soon.
He'll appear into the nickel, and this is Duke Johnson. Look at him, hurdling defenders and taking it up. Murphy riding him down like a rodeo cowboy up at the 46. That's a burst of 13 on 1st and 15.
Plenty of time. They've got the 2 timeouts left. They can continue to run the ball on this part of the field.
2nd down and 2. Johnson was in, 5 in that secondary, and Rolling Kessler. He's got the first down. He throws it out. Cravens was jumping on Duke Johnson. Gain of 9. Clock is stopped to the 46-yard line of the Washington Redskins. And coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report with JB and Company from New York. Scores, news, highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. All coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
Excuse me, Kim. You got to give Hugh Jackson a lot of credit. They're down to their third quarterback, and this kid has come in and he's done a really nice job. You know, we talked about the rough start he had last week, the first series of the game, but after that he's settled in, and now he's got his team in a position where they've got a chance to either tie this thing or go up at the half.
Crowell is in with the 1st and 10. Oh, and they've got some separation. There's a flag. Boy, Norman has had a very shaky first half as he has got the matchup against Terrell Pryor, and it has not gone well.
I think he's learning firsthand just how talented Terrell Pryor is as a wide receiver. He's got those long arms, he's got the length, but I think he's got some sneaky speed and quickness.
Pass interference, defense, number 24. Ball is he placed in spot of the foul, first down.
He was an all-pro, and Pro Football Focus has him rated as one of the top 3 cornerbacks in pro football. Highest paid, as we said before. He said he was exhausted after last week's game against Odell Beckham Jr. against the Giants.
He had to take a day off. I mean, it's a lot. And Terrell Pryor is such a different type of receiver.
Yes.
You look at the size advantage that he has and also the strength. He can just take those big arms and slap Josh Norman right off the ball.
Now they're at the 35 with the 1st and 10. Hit and brought down Murphy. His 4th sack of the season. It ties a career high. It is the first sack by the Redskins and back to the 41-yard line.
Well, this is one that he'd like to have back. It's first down. It's a 2-minute drill. Throw the ball away. An incompletion here doesn't hurt you. A sack does.
Well, last week we did the Colts. You were saying the same thing about Andrew Luck. Throw the ball away.
Sometimes the best play, the only play, is to throw it away and live for another down.
Week 4 continues later today on Fox, then tonight on Sunday Night Football on NBC, and then tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN and Westwood One Radio. I'll be seeing you on the radio tomorrow night with the Giants and Vikings from the Twin Cities.
Well, they've not been great. You look at this graphic, the end of the half, really on both sides of the ball, but I'm not surprised to see them struggle a little bit offensively, Kevin. They've had a number of changes up front along the offensive line, and they've had to play with 3 different quarterbacks the first 3 weeks.
With a timeout and Duke Johnson in the backfield, 2nd and 16 to go underneath, and that's Andrew Hawkins. On a quick slant, he was hit by a couple, and initially he was brought down by Will Blackman. It is a gain of 9, so it's 3rd down and still long, but they're moving well. Under a minute now, the clock ticking.
I like how they're jumping the ball. You look at Cody Kessler doing a good job getting everybody lined up. 3 receivers to the one side of the formation.
Okay, come on, I tapped you,
Keep an eye on the tight end on the back side of the formation.
3rd and 7, underneath again, Duke Johnson. Toller can't bring him down, and finally Cravens has him across the way and wrestles him down, and no gain on the play. They stay at the 32, 33. On this drive, Barnage has caught one for 13. Duke Johnson has had a run of 13, and we had Hawkins moments ago catch one for 9. And again, a timeout remaining for Cleveland.
They're going to run it down and kick the field goal. Hugh Jackson going to take all this time off the play clock and put his kicker out there and keep his fingers crossed.
Well, they signed Cody Parkey instead of signing Robbie Gould, who is a 34-year-old kicker who was let go by the Bears. Parkey was a Pro Bowler as a rookie in 14 for Philadelphia, injured last year, cut this year by the Philadelphia Eagles. Caleb Sturgis brought him out of that rotation.
3 of 6.
Yep,
good, Kevin.
Okay, he missed one in the first quarter from 41. In the 3rd quarter, his 42-yard attempt hit the upright, and then his time ran out with a chance to win in regulation. He missed from 46 yards away. But remember, he had not worked with the holder nor long snapper until the morning of the game.
How about Hugh Jackson? He said it was 10 minutes, before they left to travel to Miami. He met him, and so they hadn't had any work. When you study the tape last week, the 3 misses that we talked about from 41, 42, and 46 were all misses left. He was pulling the kicks. I'm sure that's something they worked on and tried to correct this week. He should be much more comfortable with the snapper and the holder now that he's had a week of rest.
Trying to tie it from 51, right down the middle. It's a 51-yard field goal, game-tying field goal by kicker Cody Parkey. He puts it through, and we're at halftime. That was a terrific first half. How about a rookie quarterback like Cody Kessler on the road, second career start, playing the way he's playing today? Let's go down to Stacey Dales.
Coach, what a first half. You're down 14 in the second quarter, 14-point comeback for your team. Talk about the resiliency.
Well, the guys are fighters, you know. That's one thing I know about our football team is that they'll fight. We just got to keep playing smarter and stay on top of their receivers. They're a good offensive football team. We just got to cover a little better, get a little bit more pressure, and then keep finding ways to move the ball on offense.
Coach, the matchup between Pryor and Norman is a fun one to watch. What do you make of the touchdown, and how do you use him in the second half of this game?
No, Terrell's doing good. He just can't have the theatrics afterwards. That's not something we do. So we got to stop that. You just got to keep playing and play good. That's all we ask.
Hugh, thanks.
Hugh Jackson's Cleveland Browns looking for their first win. They put in 17 points on their last 3 possessions of the first half. Cousins has thrown 2 touchdowns to Reed. We are tied at 17. Halftime from the nation's capital on CBS. Just outside the nation's capital, welcome back for the Redskins and the Browns. We're tied at 17. Let's now take a look at the first half. This highlight brought to you by DirecTV. It involves Kirk Cousins and the tight end Jordan Reed.
Yeah, you look at the first half, Kevin. I thought this game may get away from the Cleveland Browns. Washington raced off to a fast start, and Kirk Cousins looked terrific. They had no answer for Jordan Reed, but you've got to give Hugh Jackson and his football team a lot of credit. They didn't panic with the young quarterback. Cody Kessler made some throws. They were able to convert on a big turnover by their defense, and now we've got ourselves a really good-looking second half here.
You know, we're all enamored with Josh Norman. Should be. He's one of the best cornerbacks in football, but he had a rugged first half watching Pryor.
He's got his hands full. Terrell Pryor is probably different than anything he normally sees. He's kind of a freak. He's got the length. He's got those long arms. He's got, I think, Norman was maybe fooled a little bit by his suddenness off the line of scrimmage. He's got some pretty good straight line speed that maybe Josh Norman didn't give enough credit for in the first half.
Atkinson and Howard are back, and they'll leave it in the end zone, which means he'll go to the 25-yard line with a touchback and a 1st and 10 to the sideline in Stacey Dales.
I just talked with Redskins coach Jay Gruden, Kevin, and his message at the half was all about defense. It starts defensively, and it's all about third down. He said, we've got to get off the field on third down situations, especially long situations, which they've gotten burned by in the first half of this game. Got to contain Crowell and win the one-on-one matchups with Pryor. And by the way, Kerrigan's status with that left elbow, he's still questionable, guys.
But he's out there on the bench. Thank you very much. Isaiah Crowell in the backfield with a 1st down and 10. And not a whole lot there. Compton brings him down, gain of a yard. He gets out to the 26 and some second half adjustments.
Well, if you're Cleveland, you better figure out a way to adjust your pass rush a little bit to get to Kirk Cousins. Kevin, very efficient the first half, 13 of 17, a couple touchdowns. Washington defensively, they have to tighten up the run defense. Clearly, Hugh Jackson is committed to running the football in the second half with Isaiah Crowell.
Browns have only had 1 second half touchdown in the first 3 games of the season. Here is a 2nd down. Ooh, right through the hands of the aforementioned Pryor with Norman. Right there.
Well, this has been an interesting matchup. I talked about it in the open. Josh Norman, the veteran, Terrell Pryor, kind of the inexperienced, the neophyte, and he's done a terrific job. Very patient. He's becoming a better route runner. He's getting more comfortable with the entire route tree. But there's not a lot he can't do, and I think they have to find a way to continue to push the envelope, give him some chances versus Josh Norman, who's really been matching up with Terrell Pryor the entire day. He's been traveling with Terrell Pryor.
Ray!
5 in the secondary on this 3rd and 9 for Cody Kessler. He goes underneath, and he's got his receiver on the play, Ricardo Lewis, 2nd catch today. He's brought down near the 38, hit by Compton along with Kendall Fuller. Gain of 11, 3rd and 9, 1st down, Cleveland.
Yeah, you're just going to see Lewis. I mean, this is a nice job by Cody Kessler. He's working through his progressions. He's been accurate. he's shown a lot of poise. You know, they fell behind last week in Miami, fell behind today. This kid won't panic.
He had this kind of offense at SC, Rich, a pro-style offense.
Yeah, and he clearly played in a lot of big games. This certainly is not too big for him. He's a guy that understands what's expected of him at the quarterback position.
Crowell on 1st and 10. They're whipping as he takes it into the secondary, and Blackman brings him down with a burst to the 45 of the Redskins. 18-yard pickup, first down.
Well, they get the kick out, and I mean, they've had a lot of success running straight downhill against this Washington front seven. I mean, these are some gaping holes for a running back like Isaiah Crowell.
Rich's third run today of over 10 yards against this Redskin defense.
This is a team that's committed to running the football. 4th in rushing, 2nd in yards per attempt, and Crowell is averaging over 6 yards a carry, which is 2nd best in the NFL.
1st and 10, blitzes on, and Blackman was coming from the edge, and he throws it away. Pryor was there, and the coverage on the play by Norman.
Kessler and Pryor not on the same page there. Terrell Pryor runs the hitch. Cody Kessler throws the fade route.
You know, unlike last week, we've not seen a lot of Pryor at the quarterback position today.
No, they did it early, Kevin, the second play of the game, and it went up losing yards. He's having too much success right now, lined up as a receiver against Josh Norman.
Now they switch, and Blackman's going to go on him as in that slot. They've got Pryor. 2nd down, 10. Crowell tried to cut, and trying to block was Telfer, who looked just like an accordion there, collapsing 9-yard on the game.
I'm impressed with the rookie quarterback's alertness. You know, he's looking downfield. He seems to know where his quick answer throw is, where the outlet is. He's not forcing throws. And the one thing that's impressive, Kevin, he's seeing throws when he's thrown in the direction of Josh Norman. Norman is a veteran quarterback that will try and bait the inexperienced quarterback, Kessler, not being fooled. Did a nice job making sure he sees where Norman is in relationship to Terrell Pryor.
Kessler's former college teammate at SC, Randall Telfer, is down. Missed all of last year with a foot. We'll step aside. Telfer, the tight end, walked off under his own power. It is a 3rd and 1. This is the first time they faced 3rd and short today. It's Crowell. Oh, the stutter step was key as he takes it into the grasp of the linebacker Foster. He picks up 5. He's as far as the 30. It's a first down for the Browns.
Well, clearly they've had a lot of success running the football between the tackles. Look at this production. Not a lot of runs to the left or the right, but 15 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Hugh Jackson continues to dial up the inside runs against this Washington front seven.
Ryder is the center who starts today. Bailey has not played after the arrest earlier in the week. 1st and 10 at that right guard. And they go outside to Johnson with a good beat on him is Mason Foster, the leading tackler for the Washington Redskins. It's a loss of 5. There's a flag downfield at about the 15.
Usually you see that in the secondary, some type of defensive holding.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 47. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Dunbar picks it up with NFL Game Pass. Watch the games you missed with condensed games in 45 minutes or the full broadcast versions. Start a free trial today at NFL.com/Game Pass. Jay Gruden, who is the brother of Super Bowl winning coach with the Buccaneers, John Gruden, your former coach with the Oakland Raiders. 8th play of the drive. It is a first down, and Duke Johnson is in the backfield. And they go outside again. Lewis out of bounds. Dunbar was defending, knocks him out. Gain of 4 on that first down throw to the 22.
Now you think about the job that Hugh Jackson has done with this young football team, Kevin. 5 seasons ago, he led Oakland to an 8-8 record. The last 4 seasons was in Cincinnati, where the Bengals made the playoffs each year. He's a very creative play caller. I give him a ton of credit for the game plan he put together last week for Cody Kessler, what he did with Terrell Pryor. He's creatively putting players in a position where they have a chance to make some plays, and he's leaning on the running game.
Second down 6, and here is some of that running game with Duke Johnson, and then they got Ricky Jean-Francois jumping on him with no gain on the play. Hugh Jackson was the offensive coordinator at Cincinnati. He and Jay Gruden were on that same Bengals staff at one time.
Obviously, they have a great history with one another, and the thing I like about Hugh is, he's smart with the play call. He's going to protect the quarterback, not just from the defense, but from himself at times. You get in these 3rd and long situations, you don't want him holding the football. He's dialing up some quick hitters for Cody Kessler.
Even.
With 5 in the secondary, 3rd and 6 for Kessler. He goes underneath once again. There's the flag you see, and it's Duke Johnson. Tries to work the sideline. Compton, the linebacker, finally hit him. Norman was involved too. They pick up a yard on the play to about the 21 of Washington. Blackman missed him on the far side. Otherwise, it would have been a loss. It is against, as you can see, the Browns.
Offside offense. Number 11 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
Well, too many penalties for this Cleveland football team. 13 last week. Talked about eliminating the negative plays, the sacks, the turnovers, and the penalties. Been pretty good with the sacks and the turnovers. They just got to clean up the penalties. Too many last week for Hugh Jackson.
Well, the Browns have scored on their last 3 possessions. A touchdown run by Crowell, a 7-yard touchdown pass to Pryor, a 51-yard field goal to tie it just before the half. This will be a 40-yard field goal by Parkey. All kinds of people moving.
Ugly,
that did look ugly. So this would happen when you just pick up a guy off the street, which they did with Parkey after the normal kicker, Patrick Murray, had a left knee.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Parkey's a little antsy. Check this out. And again, this is crazy. You just never see this, but you talk about the timing and the rhythm, and they've not had a lot of reps together. Parkey just joined the team last Friday after the injury to Patrick Murray.
It's a 45-yard field goal. He gets this one. The Browns have scored on 4 consecutive possessions. A 45-yard field goal right there. Kessler comes up with 3 and the lead. Highlights from Friday night is the number 1 versus number 2 high school football teams in the area. DeMatha and St. John's facing each other. DeMatha stages a win. The Stags coming away with the victory. And right there, 74, we have a DeMatha alum playing. Ari Kwanjo played high school football at DeMatha, then went to Alabama, the Cameroon native. It's Kirk Cousins down by 3 and down for the first time today. Back out there for the Skins. Well, a 45-yard field goal moments ago by the Cleveland Browns and Hugh Jackson. Those the shoes of Deshaun Jackson, bringing attention to social injustice. Wearing them today here in Washington.
Those uniform code violations, Kevin, for the players are expensive, and that's cost them quite a bit of money. I don't know about the shoes, but I kind of like the socks. He's got polo socks on.
You feel strongly about it?
A lot of guys, it's a pretty stylish guy at wide receiver.
1st and 10 for Cousins, down by 3 and down for the first time. The pocket is crunched, and Vernon Davis will get the outlet pass. They miss 1 tackle, and then he's wrapped up by a handful of others, including Demario Davis, the former New York Jet. With a catch and run of about 8, he takes it up to about the 33.
Tried to get the double move to Deshaun Jackson, wasn't there. Checks it down to Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis is a tough tackle on the open field.
A lot of turnover on this Washington team. In fact, talking to Jay Gruden the other day, he said he was looking at a 2014 team photo, and he said over 30 of the players on that photo are out of football. That's just 2 years ago.
It's not a good thing, is it?
Oh, no.
I think they've dramatically reworked their roster. Scott McClellan has done a terrific job here with the Redskins.
2nd down and 2. Jones in the backfield with an outside pass, which is hauled in. Nice catch right there, and it's made by Reed. Hayden makes the stop. Gain of 4 in the play, and a first down. They get up to the Redskin 37-yard line.
They don't even block the end man on the line of scrimmage. This isn't a good thing. don't know what Trent Williams has got to come back out. Your quarterback to get hit, but there's Jordan Reed at it again. Terrific first half. 7 catches, 62 yards, a pair of touchdowns.
Somebody jumped on that 1st and 10. Redskins looking for their first home win of the season after their big win last week in New York.
Start, number 86, offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Jordan Reed. Well, tonight on CBS, it's the powerful season premiere of Madam Secretary. Tia Leone stars in the hit drama tonight after NCIS Los Angeles. Only CBS. 1st and 15 for the Skins. 7 penalties today in Washington. Chris Thompson is into the backfield. Oh, here they come from the side. He was hit by Wright. And you can see the loose ball. And the Browns did not get it. The Redskins retain it. But Gabe Wright came off the side, the former Lion, with a big play, number 97 off the edge.
Somebody has to be responsible to block the end man on the line of scrimmage. This is your franchise quarterback. I mean, that's crazy.
Oh.
You don't even block Cam Johnson.
It was Cam Johnson. They just signed him. He's from the Washington area. They got him off the Arizona practice squad. He hasn't seen many snaps, but there he was coming up with a big play. I stand corrected, 2nd down and 24. And this is the running back, Chris Thompson. Hit by a couple, Mounier in there. And a gain of 2. Also hit on the play by Xavier Cooper. But Lemonnier coming through with a nice hit. Former high draft choice of San Francisco.
You know, after a really rocky start defensively, this Cleveland group has played a whole lot better, Kevin, starting in the 2nd quarter. I mean, they've done a better job getting pressure, getting some hits on Kirk Cousins. That's one of the things we talked about at halftime. They have to find a way to affect Kirk Cousins, who had way too much time back there in the pocket earlier in this game.
They need their 47, 3rd and 22. Cousins on the move, and he's got his tight end Reed with a gain out to about the 36. A flag was thrown on the play and a gain of 11. And it looks like it's on the Skins. Davis with the stop.
Holding, number 74, offense. That penalty's decline. Result of the plays, 4th down.
All right, Kwanjo making his first NFL start today. He became a naturalized citizen not too long ago from his native Cameroon.
We had a struggle there against Agba. It's walked right back into the quarterback. He panics a little bit there and grabs and gets the holding penalty on 3rd down.
Only the 6th punt all season by these Redskins. Tresley, who throws right-handed as we saw last week and punts left-footed. And Duke Johnson from the 5 with a hang time of 4-5. And a couple guys, including Dunbar and Everett, they're making the stop. 17-yard return, 59-yard punt, 5:46 in the 3rd for Kessler.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by Sonic. This is how you Sonic.
Rich, as always, you're keeping a pretty good eye on the quarterbacking here today.
Yeah, both have played well. Cousins had the one mistake, obviously, that led to a Cleveland touchdown. But check out Cody Kessler, Kevin, 15 of 20. But here's the impressive thing. 7 of 7 on 3rd down, including 4 first downs. That's usually the toughest down for a young player. He's done a nice job processing the information at the line of scrimmage.
Into the nickel, this is Crowell on 1st and 10. Oh, he got right by the tackler, Iheanacho, and there he is in the secondary and brought down by Mason Foster from the linebacking core. A burst of 19 yards, a first down, and he's out near the 42.
Well, the blocking up front's been terrific, but the tackling by the Redskins has been poor at best. I mean, Isaiah Crowell has run through a bunch of arm tackles already in this one, and he's well on his way to 100 yards. 11 carries for 83 yards. They got to keep handing the rock to 34.
His 4th run today of over 10 yards. 1st and 10.
51. Here we go. Single 51. Ready. Hey, hey.
Crowell Compton was right in there, got him low, and a minimal gain of about a yard. Make it 2 up to the 42-yard line. Make it 44-yard line.
When you look at how Cleveland's built, Kevin, regardless of who's playing quarterback, whether it's RG3, whether it's Josh McCown, whether it's the rookie Cody Kessler, they have to be able to run the football. They don't have the skill talent just yet in terms of the personnel people to be able to spread you out and throw the ball over the field.
And like we've seen, most of the damage has been at the middle of the line of the Redskins.
They are running it right downhill with their big back against this Washington front seven. And the thing I love about Hugh Jackson, he'll stay after it. He'll repeat runs if he has to.
About 100 yards on the ground right now, 2nd down and 8. And they move outside. That is the fullback, Malcolm Johnson, 4th reception of the year. Foster was in the vicinity. Norman was right there. 10-yard gain. That is a first down to the 45.
Isaiah Crowell is a terrific back. I mean, he could do some damage. We talked about it earlier. If you give him enough carries, the talent's there. He's got good speed, good vision. Not afraid to bounce a run to the edge if he has to.
Browns have scored on 4 consecutive possessions, and they're moving the ball again.
And he's feeling it right now. And in talking to Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator last night of the Browns, he said our 2 most productive players offensively are the 2 backs, Isaiah Crowell and Duke Johnson.
7.1 for Crowell. Interesting. 1st and 10. Going deep, and he's looking for the receiver, Ricardo Lewis. With the coverage downfield by Toller. And Bruton.
You talk about an inexperienced receiver, Kevin, he doesn't give him any room. Look where he's running this route. I mean, you've got to give the quarterback some space, a couple, 2-3 yards on the boundary. That's learning. That's a lot of young players at the wide receiver position, Ricardo Lewis being one of them, can't get pushed all the way to the boundary.
Out today, Breland with an injury, and Deshaun Phillips is out. 2nd down and 10. This is Duke Johnson. Slippery getting by the first oncoming Jack Luke Blackman. There is no gain on the play. You see the guys jumping on him, including Kendall Reyes, and he's at the 45.
You know, I was asked earlier today about the confidence of this Cleveland football team. 0-3 coming in. They've had a number of injuries, changes the quarterback position. Just visiting with the coaching staff last night and the players, Kevin, you just get the sense that this team feels like they had a chance to be a special team. And I think they're beginning to build something special. But at the end of the day, they have to get the quarterback situation figured out. There's been way too much turnover, too much inconsistency and lack of production when you go back and look the last 20 years.
They haven't gone to Pryor yet this half. 3rd and 10. Kessler 7 of 7 on 3rd down, and here they go, and that's caught by Barnage. Their Pro Bowl tight end, brought down by Iheanacho and others. He's got the first down. He's to the 33 of the Skins. He picks up 13 on 3rd and 10.
Somebody's got to cover the tight end. I mean, what happens here? Stays in the block, chips, he gets out on the route. That's way too much space, especially when you're talking about a Pro Bowl caliber tight end in Gary Barnage.
Look at RG3 with the broken bone in his shoulder. Watching today. 1st and 10. Crowell. He outraces Smith. And then kind of forced out of bounds. Foster was there to usher him out of play. Also some help from Iheanacho. It is a gain of a yard and to the 32.
When you study Isaiah Crowell, Kevin, he reminds me kind of one of those throwback type of running backs. He seems to get stronger as the game goes on. He gets more effective when he gets more opportunities late. And I thought Pep Hamilton really summed it up best last night in our production meeting when we visited with the Browns offensive coordinator. He said, we've got to run the ball early, and we've got to win this game by running the ball late.
Compton is injured, the linebacker for the Skins, and will step aside. Next Sunday on CBS, a doubleheader. First, the Jets take on the Steelers, while the Texans tangle with the Vikings. Then the Bengals will battle the Cowboys. Bills are at Los Angeles. Check local listings beginning with JB, Boomer, Tony, Coach, and Bart on the NFL today. The linebacker Compton walked off under his own power. He was the injured player.
Isaiah Crowell, Kevin, 87 yards rushing, 48 of them in this quarter alone. They're controlling the clock. They're also controlling the ball and keeping Kirk Cousins and that Washington offense on the sidelines.
Second down and 8. 6 in the secondary. Kessler. Well, there was pressure, and look at, and they blow it dead. I was going to say they were off to the races, and there was a flag thrown. Spate was over there.
Kessler got hit, remember, Kevin, on that first third down last week where he had the sack fumble, where he held the ball on a screen pass. He gets hit here again. If it's not there, he's got to learn to throw the ball away on some of these quick hitters.
Left leg injury last week. Heavily bandaged throughout the week of practice.
Said it kind of woke him up a little bit. You know, he said he was just, you know, he's struggling a little bit. He got hit so hard he was worrying more about the injury and not so much about that Miami defense.
Like a smelling salt.
Kind of settled him down, he said.
Ammonia tablet.
Ineligibles downfield on a forward pass. Multiple players. That penalty's declined. Third down.
You know, the one thing I found out when I came from the college game to the NFL game, that these hits, they're different.
Is one of the players.
They hurt more. And they just, you know, regardless of whether it's a defensive lineman, a linebacker, a safety, a corner, they hit you, they can hurt you. Can't get caught holding the football late in the pocket. Boy, there's a shot here. Look at this. Look at them crowd the line of scrimmage. Now they're bailing out.
Kessler with a third down and 8. Underneath, Crowell. Cravens can't bring him down. No one can bring him down. Holy smokes. One missed tackle after another. 14-yard catch and run. Player down for the Redskins.
Well, the Redskins, we talked about the missed tackles. Kessler just checking the ball down the back. There's one missed tackle.
Cravens.
Yep, miss. There's two more missed tackles right there.
Dunbar.
I mean, this is, you talk about the conversation that we had with Joe Barry. He said we've been highly inconsistent, especially when it comes to tackling. They have missed way too many tackles today against Isaiah Crowell.
He said the one thing I grade our defense on is their ability to tackle. If we don't tackle well, we struggle. If we tackle well, we're in good shape. There was a case in point. They said they had 80 extra yards on broken tackles by the Giants last week, who, by the way, ran for 120 yards against this defense in the Meadowlands a week ago.
You know, you study good defenses, they tackle. When they hit you, you go down. There's not a lot of yards after contact, and there's been too much of it today from this Washington defense. You know, the areas where Joe Barry talked about their tackling had to improve, their third down defense, and the red zone. And at the end of the day, those are areas that are critical, getting off the field on third down and holding the opponents to field goals in this part of the field.
Sua Cravens, the rookie out of SC, second-round pick, who was a teammate of Kessler's at SC, is the injured player and walking off. Kessler on third down passing in this drive, 3rd and 10. He hits Barnage for 13, 3rd and 8. Got Crowell right there for 14.
He's been extremely patient and poised on third down, Kevin. The thing that's been impressive about Cody Kessler, he's not forcing throws. He's not trying to fit them in there. Look at the numbers on third down. 9 of 9. Perfect report card so far for Kessler on third down.
Malcolm Johnson gets the call on 1st and 10. Fumbles the ball! And I think Compton, or perhaps, well, he came up with it right there. That's Quentin Dunbar. A turnover for the Browns. And the turnovers are one apiece. A fumble by Malcolm Johnson.
Well, Malcolm Johnson doesn't get a lot of carries.
No.
Unfortunately, you see the terrific effort there by Chris Baker. He's the one that strips it. He pulls it out of the left hand of the fullback, Malcolm Johnson. Look at this effort.
I've got
right
that
here.
as his first carry of the season.
Actually, it's a combination of Will Compton and Chris Baker.
I thought Compton was the first to knock it free. And then you see the scrum. And the Redskins
sandwiched.
Sure did. First carry of the season.
Boy, turnovers in the red zone are killers.
That is the second red zone takeaway by the Redskins this season. Let's see what Cousins does. 1st and 10. Trent Williams, the block at the left tackle. Short, incomplete, looking for Reed. Kirksey was there, the linebacker. 2nd down and 10.
Cousins has to be careful, thrown out of his own end zone. A little greedy there, trying to fit that one in to Jordan Reed.
He threw an interception to Jamar Taylor back in the first half, which set up a touchdown pass, Kessler to Pryor.
Well, you have to find your rhythm again if you're Kirk Cousins. It seems like it's been a while since this offense has been on the field.
56. Rip.
With a second down and 10. In stride, Crowder. Tackle made open field by the rookie Kindred out of TCU.
Well, I really like Crowder. You're just going to see him. He's coming off the stack alignment to the left of the quarterback. Crowder set a franchise record for rookies last year with 59 receptions. He's got some speed and some suddenness in the open field. They love throwing him that quick bubble screen. We saw that last week against the Giants.
55-yard touchdown reception. Had that 50-yard punt return. First and 10. Matt Jones in the backfield. Time for Cousins. This is Matt Jones. And he was finally brought down in the play by Demario Davis with a catch and run of 16 on the play. Kirksey was there as well. That's the end of the third. Redskins on the move and behind for the first time this afternoon. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Rich, you know the Redskins were looking for some balanced pass and run. 23 passes and 14 runs for the Skins offense today.
Yeah, but what do I always say, Kevin, in a critical situation, don't think of plays, but think of players. Deshaun Jackson, just the one target today for 5 yards. They have to find a way to get him some touches. He's been matched up pretty much most of the day with the Browns' Pro Bowl corner, Joe Hayden.
Four in the secondary. Here's Matt Jones on 1st and 10, climbing through defenders. Danny Shelton jumped on his back and brings him down, coming off the defensive line, but not after he made a gain of 8. He's up to the 47-yard line.
You know, Kevin, you mentioned earlier the history between Jay Gruden and Hugh Jackson, and when you really study the running game, we're seeing a lot of the similar runs with both Isaiah Crowell and Matt Jones. A lot of power runs down in between the tackles, right downhill with these two big, powerful, physical backs that are most comfortable running inside.
With the second down and long, too, this is Jones. And he was hit by Agra. And Paya was in there, too, trying to make the stop. But Agba brings him down. Gain of 2. Let's take you to New York and James Brown.
Kevin, Baltimore trying to stay perfect.
Joe Flacco on 4th and goal calls his own number. He takes it in for the 1-yard score. The two-point conversion was no good. Oakland leads 14-12.
2:41 left in the third. Back to Kevin Harlan.
There's James Brown, a DeMatha alum, anchoring for us at CBS in New York.
Place your hard. Hey, we're good. Hey, 56. Ready?
1st and 10 with the running back, Chris Thompson. And he gets outside. Blocked by Sheriff, who is playing on that right side. Flag is thrown on the play. It is a gain of 7. And right now, they have him at about the 42.
Holding, number 75 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
We just called out the Outland Trophy winner from Iowa, Brandon Sheriff.
I just said to our producer, Jonathan Siegel, I said, this is a really good block. Check this out. I said, watch the movement that he gets at the point. He's going to take Ricky Jean-Francois, or he's going to take Paya and push him back, but then they call him for a holding penalty. Looked good from up here anyway.
It did look good. 1st and 20. Caught. And here's the run. And it's Garcon, who wiggles his way to about the 43, and he picks up on the play about 4. With the hit by Hayden.
A lot of work for 4 yards, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I'll tell you, it's amazing when you get a player like Joe Hayden, what it can do for your defense, and it allows defensive coordinator Ray Horton to be more aggressive, to call more man coverages, to dial up some pressures, because you trust that Joe Hayden can match up and really shut down a player like Deshaun Jackson.
It's 2nd down and 16 for Kirk Cousins. Airing it out down the way, and Hayden was just flagged on a long pass for Deshaun Jackson. Hayden playing with a bad groin injury, inactive last week, and was iffy all week long, much to the chagrin of Hugh Jackson.
Pass interference, number 23 of the defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, you know, when you cover a player like Deshaun Jackson, he has instant and immediate burst and acceleration. I just don't see the hold there. I don't see the penalty.
Cleveland had a 50-yard PI earlier in the game. With the 1st and 10, Matt Jones running hard. Tripped up by Schobert, the rookie out of Wisconsin. Gain of 11. That is a 1st down to the 24-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. Tonight, the remarkable story of the woman who fought off her terrorist kidnappers and won. Plus, who is in control of the trillions of dollars worth of natural resources in the Arctic? 60 Minutes travels to the top of the world tonight to find out. Tonight, only CBS.
Hey, double. Hey, we're good, we're good. Double. Get hot. Ready. What's that?
1st and 10. Jones again. Oh, he found a big block in an open door, and into the secondary he goes. Again, Poyer brings him down. 16-yard run after his 11-yard burst moments ago, and a 16-yard catch and run earlier on the drive.
You get the movement up front, breaks a tackle when he gets up on the 2nd level. That is a good-looking run by the Redskins. We talked about Isaiah Crowell feeling it in the 2nd half. How about Matt Jones? He's doing some damage as well for the Skins.
Both teams shuffling their offensive line today for a variety of reasons, and both lines performing well. 1st and goal at the 9. Jones blocked by Reed, and he leaps to the 6. 8 of 3 on the play. Make it Kelly. Excuse me, for the first time today, Robert Kelly. His 5th carry of the season, the rookie free agent out of Tulane. Hit by Shelton. Second down and goal at the 6. Thompson back in as a running back with a 2nd and goal. Cousins, Thompson, touchdown. Big fumble by Johnson on his 1st carry of the season for the Browns. And with a series of big plays beginning at their 9, a 5-yard touchdown pass to Chris Thompson.
Well, they're having a difficult time getting lined up. And what happens, you're going to see Kirksey, he turns to the safety, and they don't even cover the back, Chris Thompson, in the flat. Kirksey's too busy trying to get the secondary straightened out. A little bit of a communication issue for the Cleveland Browns.
So Cousins has thrown his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. 8 yards to Reed, 9 yards to Reed, and 5 yards right there to the running back, Chris Thompson, out of Florida State. With the extra point, 3-point lead right now. Now for 24-20 the Redskins as Hopkins splits the uprights. A 91-yard drive on the ground and through the air. 10:39 in the 4th. Rich, a lot of talk about the Redskins in the red zone, but today in 4 trips in the red zone inside the 20, 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
And Stacy talked about the emphasis that spending an extra day, moving the workload up a day in practice. Usually when you make something a point of emphasis, you see the improvement, and we've seen that from this Redskins offense today down in the scoring zone.
So we've had the 2nd lead change of this half, and the ensuing kickoff by the Skins. And they will leave it in the end zone with Tracy Howard. Now Kessler must respond. A rookie on the road making his second career start. 10:39 in the fourth. Couple lead changes in the second half. Cleveland has it after the kick. Touchback to the 25, 1st and 10. Isaiah Crowell, another hole. More broken tackles. And finally takes it up to the 42, a burst of 18. First down for the Browns to the sideline in Stacey Dales.
Yeah, Kevin, some defensive injury updates for these guys. Rookie linebacker Stuart Cravens, he's in the concussion protocol. Pass rusher Ryan Kerrigan, he's got that left elbow wrapped in ice. He's doubtful. I don't expect to see him back. And the defensive coordinator, guys, Joe Barry, ripped his defense. Tackle, tackle, tackle.
He needs to rip him some more. They didn't right there. 1st and 10, Crowell again. By midfield, hit on the play by Kendall Reyes, who formerly played with San Diego. 8-yard gain right there. Crowell on the day, 112 yards on 15 carries and a touchdown.
Kevin, this looks like a 9-on-7, an inside rushing period in practice. I mean, it's like they're not even trying to tackle Isaiah Crowell. He's having a huge day against this Washington defense.
Player down, looks like Bruton will step aside. David Bruton was the injured player, walking off under his own power, but right to the locker room. There you take a look at Isaiah Crowell. He began his college career at Georgia. He then transferred to Alabama State when he was coming out of high school in Columbus, Georgia. He was the #1 ranked high school running back in the country. He is playing like it here in the NFL today.
They've had no answer for Isaiah Crowell. I mean, this is the only answer they have to keep him on the sidelines. They get him a rest, and when they give him a rest, then Duke Johnson comes in. And he can break off big runs once he gets in space. This is a pretty good 1-2 punch for the Cleveland Browns.
There's Duke Johnson. High pick out of Miami last year. 2nd down and 2. Kessler to Johnson. Blocking there. Foster slowed him down. There's a loose ball. It's a fumble. And the Redskins have recovered.
Well, you got to ask yourself, if you're Hugh Jackson, you had that stoppage of play, you had all that time on the clock, you had Isaiah Crowell on the sidelines, and you put in your backup, Duke Johnson. Not very big.
Foster. I think Foster may have stripped him. 54. Or maybe it was the hit there on the side.
Wow. Back-to-back possessions.
Fumbles, yes.
We had the fumble from Malcolm Johnson on the previous possession, and then another fumble from Duke Johnson. Turnovers really hurting Cleveland here in the fourth quarter. And Kevin, you think about turnovers, you think they'd come from your rookie quarterback, not the guys handling the football in the running game. Washington's done a nice job ripping and stripping. They work on ball extraction every day in practice, and they've done a terrific job tying up the back, and then someone else has come in from the side and punched it out.
So the Browns have 2 turnovers in Washington territory.
Pretty good there, huh? That helps.
Yep. First and 10 from the 43. It's Matt Jones. Nice hole. He'll gallop free into the Cleveland secondary and down to the 32. 25-yard run by Matt Jones.
Boy, is this a good-looking run. Just watch it. Watch this hole right there. Right there. I mean, that is a huge hole for the back. They've been caught out of position a couple times. Kirksey has his eyes in the backfield. He gets sucked up inside and is not able to come off for the tackle.
Aiden had to bring him down. First and 10. Cousins chased. Here comes Cam Johnson. He's got him. Cam Johnson just signed off the Arizona practice squad. The 3rd-year player from Virginia. The Washington, D.C. native. with a second sack right there by the defense and a loss of 8 back to the 40.
Cousins has to throw this away, Kevin. This is how you get hurt. This is how you get a shoulder separation. Watch this tackle by Cam Johnson. He takes Kirk Cousins right down on that right shoulder.
He's only played a couple plays, Rich.
He's making some big plays.
I know.
They just signed him.
He was with Cleveland on their practice squad a year ago. Originally a 7th-round pick by San Francisco.
That's one way to stay up on the active roster. Keep making big plays.
Second and 18. Being chased by Cooper. And again he throws it away. So they're getting some penetration. And they say, the Redskins sideline, that maybe Cousins was hit while he was on the chalk, out of bounds. No flag.
Boy, he's taken some big hits.
He has.
That was Xavier Cooper. It's back-to-back hits on Cousins. Cousins has had a difficult time staying in rhythm in this drive. He's had to move quite a bit in the pocket. Cleveland's done a better job getting pressure on Cousins in the second half. We talked about halftime adjustments, the importance of getting Cousins out of rhythm, moving him off the spot where he was so successful in the first half.
Redskins have just taken a timeout. When we come back with play, it'll be 3rd and 18. And like we mentioned before, the Browns defense has not allowed anything longer than 3rd and 10 to be converted this year. Thursday, your weekend starts here with the Cardinals tackling the Niners. Thursday Night Football on CBS, NFL Network, and Twitter. There's an interesting play, Rich, coming up for the Redskins, looking for their first home win of the season. Ray Horton trying to dial something up on the defense for the Browns.
He's done a nice job making some adjustments, and he's increased the intensity and the consistency with the pass rush. He's brought some 5-man pressures. And a good job keeping Cousins moving.
Thompson in the backfield, 3rd and 18. Here they come again, and down he goes. Buddy Calhoun. Brian Buddy Calhoun, a rookie. He was waived by Jacksonville. He was signed by the Browns on the 4th of September, and a big sack right there.
Well, you can see, look at his alignment. He's lined up inside. There's a reason why this defender is cheating over. You know the corner blitz is coming. Kirk Cousins is caught asleep at the wheel. We just got done showing you Ray Horton. He's done a better job increasing the amount of pressures here in the second half.
4 plays punt. Tress Way is going to maroon the Browns at about their 2. Those 2 sacks by the Cleveland defense effectively put the Redskins out of field goal range. Clock at 7:14.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Subway Restaurants.
Full throat now, this Washington crowd. The second half resume of the Cleveland Browns. They begin it. It's down in 10 at their 2. Crowell. Slowed down by Blackman. Let's head downstairs to Stacey Dales.
Cavs continue. Safety David Bruton, we saw him walk off very gingerly to the locker room. He went for a concussion evaluation. He's been ruled out. Sua Cravens with the concussion, he's out, and Ryan Kerrigan with that left elbow injury. 3 big names on this defense, Kevin.
Agreed. Big contributors for the Skins and the defensive coordinator Joe Barry. Second down 2. Pistol. Blocked by Johnson and picked off, intercepted by Norman. Highest paid defensive back in the NFL comes up with his first Redskins pick. Another turnover, 3 in a row for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, they're just trying to throw the slant. Look at Josh Norman. He is right on the backside of Terrell Pryor. He's watching the quarterback the whole way. He knows he has help inside. He just does a terrific job undercutting Terrell Pryor. He almost runs the route for him. Terrific anticipation by the Pro Bowl corner.
There was a flag thrown. It's at the 21, and it looks to be post-interception. A look at Norman.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 24. Shooting a bow and arrow. That foul counts as one of those that leads to a disqualification. 1st and 10, Washington.
Shooting a bow and arrow.
I've never heard of that before.
I have not either.
I didn't realize you couldn't shoot the bow and arrow.
Little do they know he was an archery guy when he's not playing football. I don't know that he is. I don't know.
You know, you think about these second half possessions, Kevin. Look, Cleveland has to learn how to close out a game. They've been close the first 3 weeks. It's like Bill Belichick always says, you have to first learn how not to lose a game before you can win. Look at that, 3 straight turnovers, 2 fumbles by the back, an interception by the rookie quarterback when they were backed up. We talked earlier in the day about they had to eliminate the negative plays. The turnovers here in the fourth quarter have been a killer for the Browns.
It's a 1st and 10 with Matt Jones. And you see him stockpiled there and a loss of a yard back to the 40.
You know, as bad as they have played offensively in the second half, Kevin, if they can hold them to a field goal here, it's still a one-possession game. They can get right back in it. They've got plenty of time on the clock. They've got all 3 timeouts. Just a poor decision by Cody Kessler. You see Hugh Jackson there, very busy looking at, he's thinking ahead. He's thinking about that next possession.
2nd down 11. It's a nice play here to Pierre Garçon. He took advantage of the rookie body Calhoun, and it's a catch and run of 21 yards.
Watch him create the separation on body Calhoun. Look how much separation. Now watch the suddenness. Whoops. Pierre Garçon has been quiet. He's fresh. He's got fresh legs for late in the game.
8:58. Rock! Look cross!
Comes the blitz.
1st and 10. Almost bobbled by Jones, who has fumbled in the past, but this time he wheels down inside the 5. Hit by Poyer. He was going for the pylon, and he picks up 16. 1st and goal, Redskins.
Well, watch this adjustment by the back. They bring the pressure inside. He almost fumbles the football, but he knows with the internal pressure that his best chance is to bounce that run to the edge. Good alert play there by Jones.
He's been holding the ball high and practicing in practice, and he has also been using a special electronic ball with sensors where they can measure where the ball is and how high he is holding it.
Ball security, it's been a point of emphasis going back to his rookie season.
1st and goal. And stuffed as he goes on the side. Jones can't find any room right there. Everybody had a hand in that one. No gain on the play. 2nd down and goal. And a flag thrown about the 4 and thrown on the near side.
Offside defense, number 57, lines up in the neutral zone. Half the distance from the goal. Repeat 1st down.
Cam Johnson.
Well, you look at Matt Jones holding the football. He put the ball on the ground a few too many times as a rookie. Look how low it is. Now up here, it's high and tight. And that's what you want to see with your running back. Talk about points of pressure on the football. Look at those big biceps, big forearms. You got to hold it high and tight in this part of the field.
He had 5 fumbles a season ago. It's 1st and goal at the 1, and they stop it with the clock at 4:21.
Reset the game clock to 4:28. It will start on the snap.
You know, when we talked with Jay Gruden on Friday, Kevin, one of the things he said was, you know, we got to run the football more. And they've done that today. You look at the production Matt Jones has had, 18 carries, 114 yards. They could have some bounce. They could be a very dangerous offense.
It's Jones with an escort. Touchdown. 1-yard plunge. The pick by Norman. The interception of Kessler. And they cash in.
Look at Brandon Sheriff get off on the ball. He winds up in the end zone. He creates a huge lane for Matt Jones.
Quanjo, part of the entourage, leading him in. Matt Jones has his second touchdown of the season. Norman had his first pick as a Redskin. An All-Pro player a season ago with the NFC champion Carolina Panthers.
Boy, they look like a different team this week in the red zone. Finishing drives in this part of the field.
To tack on one more. Dustin Hopkins. It's 31-20. 3 consecutive turnovers by the Browns. And 14 points off those 3 turnovers by the Redskins. To Stacey Dales downstairs.
Kevin and Rich, you know, it's interesting. I asked Josh Norman, what is the biggest misconception about you on Friday? And he said that I'm a talker. Everybody thinks I talk all the time. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, I just watched him after that pick and that drive and touchdown. He did not stop talking, corralling his teammates, talking whatever you can imagine he might have been talking. But he's fired up. This defense is fired up. And they're trying to find a way to win in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's a big play, Stacey. He's a bigger corner. He'll challenge at the line of scrimmage. He's got excellent ball skills. And what I like about Josh Norman, he's not afraid to take chances. He'll peek into the backfield at times and looking for that big play. It's just what he did there when he was covering Terrell Pryor. He saw it, he recognized it, and he jumped on it.
And Rich, we found out he likes archery.
There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of fun. Just got to be careful, though.
How about the rushing of Jones? Matt Jones out of Florida, 3rd-round pick a year ago. He's got 115 yards on the ground, 77 this half. All a part of the Redskins' 31-20 lead and 4.5 to go. With the ensuing kickoff by Hopkins. Out of the end zone, back to the 25 and a touchback. Well, coming up on the Subway postgame show, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher have scores, news, and highlights all coming up on the Subway postgame show from our CBS studios in New York.
Well, trailing by 11, this changes things for the Browns because of the turnovers, Kevin. They've got to jump into their 2-minute offense. There has to be a sense of urgency, and unfortunately for Hugh Jackson, he has to get away from the running game a little bit. He has to put the ball in the hands of his rookie quarterback a lot more here. They've got to take some chances. They've got to take some shots down the field, and the guy they want to throw it to is Terrell Pryor.
And Norman is on him, 1st and 10. Underneath, that is Duke Johnson. Slips by. Compton finally got him. Missed tackle by Blackman. Gain of 5 in the play and up to the 30.
This is where you find out about your rookie quarterback, how comfortable he is with the 2-minute offense.
2nd down and 5. Thomas the block at the left tackle. Underneath they go here for Andrew Hawkins, and he's hard to bring down. Boy, a lot of missed tackles today by that defense. That's a pickup at 12, and that's a 1st down for the Browns.
I can't remember a defense that's missed this many tackles. It's a problem. They've got to find some guys that are hungry to make some big hits.
1st and 10. So again, here comes Pryor. Had a big gain against Miami with that same play a week ago. He was chased out of bounds by the linebacker Will Compton. He picks up 3 and a player down for the Skins on the far side of the field. It's Compton again, 2nd time that he has needed some attention.
Well, they've had
a rugged player.
A lot of injuries, Kevin, defensively. We talked about they're without D'Angelo Hall was hurt, and Rashad Breeland, and We've seen a number of players leave the field today. Ryan Kerrigan. Bruton.
Kerrigan hasn't come back in since he hurt that left elbow.
Cravens. They're getting thin now on the back end.
A couple of former college quarterbacks matching which today. Gruden, who is a quarterback at Louisville, and Hugh Jackson, who is a college quarterback at Pacific.
You know, the Redskins have been content to let the Browns dink and dunk the ball to the backs out of the backfield. Some of these shallow crossing routes with Terrell Pryor. At some point, they have to be able to push the ball down the field. They need some chunks. They need some big plays here. They still have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but they have to have a sense of urgency here to throw the ball down the field a little bit. You're starting to see a little bit more double coverage in the direction of Terrell Pryor.
5 in the secondary, second and a short 7. Duke Johnson with a little chip out of the backfield. That's caught by Barnage, and he's into Redskin territory, holding on for dear life is Kendall Fuller, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, and a 3rd-round pick who is seeing his first NFL action today. And Ryder is down. He was starting today at the center. Ryder was starting. They moved Greco back to his guard position on the right side, taking the place of Alvin Bailey, who, as you may recall, was arrested earlier this week.
He's right in the middle of your screen. Oh, he just turns. It's like he turns his ankle or grabbing his knee. It certainly gets caught awkwardly as he gets pushed back. It's stepped on initially, then he gets caught up in there, and you can see him go down and grab. What they'll do is they'll move Greco back over from guard to center. He played center last week. Shouldn't be a huge adjustment for Cody Kessler, but
and they bring in Spencer Drango, a rookie out of Baylor. And he will be at the guard position. Bailey, just to finish that story, arrested and charged with driving while impaired earlier this week. And Drango is in, a 2-time All-America with the Baylor Bears, as they continue to look at Ryder, who was signed off this Washington Redskin practice squad. He was originally a Redskin draft choice last year.
You know, Kevin, we talked about throwing the ball down the field a little bit. One of the problems the Browns have is they're without their top pick, Corey Coleman. Josh Gordon not with the team, and so they don't have a lot of team speed on offense, and their longest pass play today is only 14 yards. They've had a difficult time throwing the ball down the field. The guy I would look for in this situation is Barnage. They're doubling the outside receivers. They're getting some one-on-one looks with their Pro Bowl tight end, Gary Barnage. He's got excellent hands. He can make the difficult catch look easy. They just got to find a way to get him the ball inside against a lot of this 2-deep coverage. That's where the weakness is right now. You see the 2-deep safeties. They're doubling the outside. There's the play right down the middle of the field to your tight end.
So the rookie play on the right guard. Here is a 1st and 10, and there's a flag.
False start. Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's your 9-time Pro Bowler, Joe Thomas, making his 148th consecutive start today.
Probably the best left tackle in the league. I mean, he's a real technician. You study him. 9 seasons, 9 Pro Bowls. Played every single snap since he was drafted back in 2007, which is the longest current streak in the league. He is a tough guy.
1st and 15.
There it is, Barnage. Find a way to get him the ball down the middle of the field.
It's Duke Johnson on the draw. Barnage with the block. And then brought down by Trent Murphy, who comes off the line. He had his hand in the dirt, and he makes the tackle, but it's a 10-yard gain by Duke Johnson. And they go to the 42 of the Redskins. Compton, by the way, has gone back out on the field. He's been knocked out of the game twice, and Will Compton is back out there for the Skins. Kessler's got a 2nd down and 5. One thing he did very well is learn from a mom and dad that were involved in athletics. His dad was a junior college wide receiver. His mom was a volleyball coach and a teacher. His dad was a high school football coach. He's from Bakersfield, California. 2nd down and 5. Thomas with the block at the left tackle. That's out of the reach of the intended receiver on the near sideline, rookie Ricardo Lewis.
You're talking about Cody Kessler, Kevin. Clearly he's been able to handle and manage the game plan. Last week in Miami, today against the Redskins. Done a pretty nice job. You look at his numbers, 22 of 31. Not a lot of yards, 189 yards. The one mistake, the interception to Josh Norman. Big 3rd down here.
Well, the Browns have been good on 3rd down, 7 of 10. 3rd and 5.
Look at all the bodies around the line of scrimmage. The middle of the field is wide open.
Kessler, quickly, Crowell. What a hit by Norman, who's had a much better second half. A loss of a yard. It's at the 42 of the Redskins. Josh Norman has rebounded, and how, in the second half after struggling in the first half, and they're going to go for it. Rich, no surprise to you on 4th down.
Well, they have to. It's a 2-score game, Kevin. They could kick the field goal here, but I think this is the prudent decision here on 4th and 6. Got to get a touchdown sooner or later. I think this is your best opportunity to try and convert in this situation.
They need the Redskin 36. 4th and 6. Kessler, high and incomplete for Pryor. Norman was on him. And on downs, the Cleveland Browns and Cody Kessler turn it over to the Washington Redskins with 2:03 to go. And 3 Cleveland timeouts remaining.
I wasn't crazy about this route by Terrell Pryor. He's losing ground. He's working back across the field to the quarterback. He's taking a real sharp angle.
Shallow.
And even if he catches that, he's not going to be deep enough for the 1st down. You look at Cody Kessler, he's confused. You got to get your depth on 4th down.
Three consecutive turnovers in the second half by the Browns and 14 points by the Redskins have turned this one around. 1st and 10. And Jones wrapped up by Meter and gets a couple up to the 42, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. Redskins looking for their first home win.
Well, back here in Maryland, the Redskins have the lead, 31-20, and terrific stop there on 4th down. Josh Norman has been a different player in the second half in that matchup against Terrell Pryor.
2nd down and 10. The run for Jones and not much there, and he had a couple including Danny Shelton. Leads that defensive line in tackles with the stop.
We talked a lot about Terrell Pryor in the first half, Kevin, and how well he was playing, kind of winning that battle against Josh Norman. When Norman got the better of him in the second half, Pryor just 1 catch for 4 yards. He was quiet. The big reason why was the play of Josh Norman. He really elevated his game late here in the second half.
5 targets at Pryor this half, only 1 catch for Cleveland. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, JB and Company for scores, highlights, and news, all coming up on the Subway postgame show from New York.
Hey, we're shovel 56. Hot. Ready? Where's that?
Cleveland 2 timeouts, 3rd down and 10 for the Skins, and this is Matt Jones. He puts his shoulder into Paya, who was let go by the Redskins and signed off waivers by Cleveland. In it 2, it's 4th down. The ball's up near the 44.
You know, I think there's a lot of positives to come out of this game, Kevin. We talked to Kirk Cousins on Friday. He said that, you know, he felt pretty good about the first 3 weeks despite the 1-2 start. They only had to punt 5 times in 3 games. They had the fewest 3-and-outs. They were 2nd in passing yards. And today, I thought they got off to a terrific start. His numbers were solid, 21 of 27 for 3 touchdowns. But the real bright spot today was the commitment to the running game and the production they got from Matt Jones. 22 carries for 117 yards. And that's how they got healthy down in the red zone. You want to be a good football team in that part of the field, you have to be able to have some balance and be physical running the football, and they have that back in Matt Jones.
And like you say, they answer some ills in the red zone.
Yeah, they really did a terrific job. And the defense, when they had to, they did not tackle well. But the one thing they could be pleased about were the takeaways in the second half. That was huge. 3 takeaways by this Washington defense.
The punt from Tressway. And deep back is Jordan Poyer. Bounds inside the 20, near the 17. Punt of 40 yards. Josh Norman missed 1 day of practice this week. He was ill. We talked to him Friday. He was in a terrific mood. You know, the one thing when you sign a contract that's the most of anybody at your position in the entire NFL is the added pressure. And with this organization, a lot of eyes are on the Redskins and now on Norman.
Yeah, and you're under the microscope every week, and you're handed the assignment to go out and shut down the opponent's best receiver each week, and that's not an easy thing for a player like Josh Norman or any cornerback. But he embraces the challenge. He rose to the occasion here in the second half, and he was a real difference maker for the Redskins.
Duke Johnson was in the backfield. Here comes Kessler. They're coming at him in waves now, and he dumps it off to his tight end Barnage, who is hit on the play and brought down after a gain of about 2, knocked by Kendall Fuller, who's playing the nickel for the injured Deshaun Phillips. Gain of 2.
Look at Kessler. He's done a nice job sitting in there. He's pressured a lot more here in the second half.
Second down and 8. It's Duke Johnson underneath and hit by Mason Foster. That is a gain of 12, and that's a first down for the Cleveland Browns with 2 timeouts remaining. Kessler has been getting a lot of mentoring from the Carr brothers, Derek and David Carr. Quarterbacks in the NFL. David Carr was the #1 overall pick by Houston years ago. Derek, the current quarterback at Oakland. On that 1st and 10, it's Kessler outside to Duke Johnson, who is hit again by Foster. And they pick up 7 on the play. Both the Carrs from Bakersfield, like Cody Kessler.
Well, it's a frustrating day for Hugh Jackson. His team played well enough in the first half, Kevin. They were in a position once again, a lot like last week. They missed the kick there at the end of regulation. They get into overtime. They can't close it out. They've been close a couple times, but they have to learn to finish games. And the one thing you cannot do as you go on the road with an inexperienced quarterback is turn the football over. And the 2 fumbles, you want to blame, I'm not going to blame Kessler so much for the last turnover, but the first 2 fumbles, they were the most costly. You got a fullback in Malcolm Johnson. He puts the ball on the ground. And the very next series, Duke Johnson Jr., he puts the ball on the ground.
Second down 3. 1 timeout apiece for the Browns and the Skins. Off the fingertips of Duke Johnson. They came around Joe Thomas's side that time and applied some nice pressure on the quarterback, Cody Kessler. 3rd-round pick out of SC. When he was selected by the Browns and by Hugh Jackson, people were surprised he was taking that early.
Well, look, I think that, I don't think they anticipated he'd be playing, and certainly at this point, but I think he demonstrates very good anticipation and timing. Clearly, he was able to handle and manage the game plan, and he's learning on the job. It's tough. And they're so young at wide receiver, Kevin. That's a problem as well. I mean, you've got a player in Terrell Pryor that I think's got a chance to be a special player, but they just don't have the experience at that position.
Coming up, we're going to take you to Baltimore with the Raiders and the Ravens with under 3 to play there. Close one.
Right down the road.
Yep. Go up to Bertha's for some muscles. There's a 6-yard gain on that previous play, which gives Cleveland a first down. Browns are winless, and they will leave here without a win. And what was anticipated to be the return of RG3, the former Redskins quarterback, who is now a Cleveland Brown. Broken bone in his shoulder early in the season, in game 1, as a matter of fact, and he's out for the foreseeable future. First and 10. Out of bounds and chased down the play by Kendall Reyes of that defensive line of the Redskins on a gain of 2.
You know, Kevin, after games like this, I'd always jump on the plane and you'd go back over the whole game. You'd go back over the plays and the calls and the decisions that you made. And I think Hugh Jackson, you go back over the game plan and the calls there at the end, you got to ask yourself, you're handing the football to Malcolm Johnson, you're handing the football to Duke Johnson. Meanwhile, Isaiah Crowell, he's been phenomenal. And when that first fumble happened, he wasn't even on the field. He had 112 yards rushing on 15 carries.
2nd down 8 here. Here comes Murphy, and then he is steered outside by Pastor. And outside to Barnage. Pastor, by the way, had 5 penalties on him last week. I don't think he's had a single penalty on him today at that right tackle position, taking the place of Schwartz, who's now in Kansas City. 1st down and 10. Clocks it, so 4 seconds left. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Where do you go from here if you're Hugh Jackson? You got to get those older veteran quarterbacks healthy. Robert Griffin III already throwing in practice, and Josh McCown a couple weeks away. And this team has to stay healthy. Joe Hayden has to stay healthy. He missed last week with a groin injury. Get rid of that sling and get back out there and start slinging it. You need both of these quarterbacks to play and to play well at some point this season.
2nd down and 10. And Duke Johnson. With some blocking, and that'll do it. The Browns turned it over twice in the second half in Redskin territory. And it came back to get them. 14 points for the Redskins off those turnovers. Pryor and the Browns remain winless as Cousins and Kessler discuss quarterbacking for the respective teams. And Colt McCoy, he was a 3rd-round pick by Cleveland down yesteryear. Redskins' 2nd consecutive week with a 4th quarter comeback win. They've reached 500. The Redskins are 2-2. For Stacey Dales and Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll take you to the Subway postgame show, then the Raiders and Ravens.